I just got back from the gym and I wanted to sit down and quickly get my thoughts out of my brain and into this video. And basically what I was thinking about is, so I'm 24, right? But the thing is, I found out about the concept of online business 5-6 years ago, and only recently in my recent agency have I actually made any real progress. And I'll just deepen the fact that it took me 6 years before I finally became someone that was capable of making any real progress in this agency space. And I was thinking about all the other guys that probably still haven't had that breakthrough. And even if you had a breakthrough, or you're like an established agency owner, you've just been plateaued for a few months, or 5, 6, God forbid 7 months. And what is it that actually held me back that might be holding you back as well? I was thinking about it on the way. It was one of them no music type of walks, and the main thing was focus. And when I say focus, most people think like micro focus, like turning off your notifications, doing deep work blocks. But I don't think it was that for me. Like, my micro focus is locked in. I don't have any notifications. My phone's always on do not disturb. My fucking phone's black and white. That's like basic self-improvement, which I've had locked in for like 6 years. The kind of focus I'm talking about is macro focus. So focus in the sense that I kept switching fucking business models. I kept, switching at this point in my life, I'll call it the seasons of life I was in, but back then I didn't speak like this. So I kept switching what I was focusing on, like the kind of things that I really wanted to do. And I know that because in one of the recent videos I actually spoke about how I had like 3 or 4 different agencies. But within the span of 5 years, 3 or 4 different agencies, that doesn't make no fucking sense. Like, none of them actually took off up until I actually really honed in on this last agency. And I remember speaking to my mum a few days ago, and she was asking me like, what's the plan? Like, what's the plans with this thing? And I told her, Mum, like, I'm in this for 10 years straight. And that's when I realized that my mindset completely shifted about this recent agency, and my macro focus is completely dialed in on this one fucking thing. And that's what was missing for the past 6 fucking years, and hence why I was struggling for 6 fucking years, and why you might be as well. So how do you actually fix this macro focus? And if you're like 21, 20, 19, 18, I have some friends that are 16, this is going to save you. I remember one of my friends actually asked me, I think he's about 20, he actually asked me for like advice, because he said I'm like an older guy, and he asked me for advice basically to get to where I am faster, because me, I had like a slow journey. Everyone has their own journeys, but you can speed this fucking shit up if you listen to what I'm about to say. So the main problem for me was macro focus, and if I'm struggling with my macro focus, then imagine how many other guys out there are struggling with that as well, because we're not really special. Like, everyone, we all have the similar experiences in life. So if I'm struggling with it, you can best believe like probably hundreds of thousands of other guys are struggling with it too. So macro focus, how do you actually deal with like a bad macro focus and keep getting distracted? One thing is meditation. If you're not meditating daily, then your brain isn't going to be like optimal. That's the reason why you keep getting distracted at macro level, because when you're meditating, you basically train your brain to notice when you're getting distracted. So for example, you might have a friend that you basically told, I have friends that are old friends. I have old friends that I used to give advice to. So I'd tell them to do this one thing, like, oh, I don't know, what could it possibly be? Like, oh, apply for this kind of job. I think this is going to be perfect for you. 3-4 weeks later, I'll ask them like, did you apply for the job? No, they fucking didn't. Because their brain, I wasn't planning to edit this, but I might have to. Alright, I'm back. I thought of an example. So basically, you might tell one of your friends to fix their diet, because that links into my next point about macro focus. Your fucking diet plays a huge part. I'm brown, so I've been eating fucking seed oils my entire life. My mum's been feeding me fucking poison. Your diet plays a huge part. So that links into my example where you might have a friend that's struggling with this. Like, I might be telling you this right now, and I'm telling you, fix your diet. But then you're going to turn around and tell me, but my diet's fine, like I eat steaks, etc. But if you really looked at it at like an objective point of view, if you look back at your past 30 days and looked at your actual diet, you'd realise that you haven't been fucking eating steaks and eggs or whatever the fuck you've said you've been eating, because you don't realise that you've had 10, 15 days where you just went way out of your macros and you started eating fucking seed oils, and that one time you had fucking burger and chips at 1 a.m. because you were really fucking hungry, but your brain doesn't even fucking register that. It's like you have no fucking accountability for yourself. But the thing is, it's not your fault, it's your brain's fault, because you don't fucking realise that this has happened. I caught this in myself recently where I'm on a cut right now, so I'm meant to be fucking losing weight like a motherfucker. At a point I was doing 1200 calories, which is fucking insane. But the thing is, I didn't fucking lose that much weight, so I couldn't have been fucking hitting 1200 calories. Am I fucking insane? So I see that in myself, like, my brain didn't tell me that there was times where I don't really binge eat, but there's times where I like went out with family and I ate some bullshit and I forgot to track how many calories was in that, so I thought I was inside my macros, but I wasn't, if that makes sense. But if you fucking meditate, then your brain will pick up on that kind of stuff. So the first 2 points were meditate every single day, you do 20 minutes or something every single day. And the second point is fix your fucking diet. Because there's a direct correlation between having a bad diet and having fucking brain fog and disgusting levels of focus. And the third point is to read books, long form content. Because I was speaking to one of my cousins about this actually, and we were talking about books, and he doesn't fucking like reading books. But he was asking me like, what is the benefit of reading books? And I told him, in the day and age that we live in, there's fucking short form content everywhere. Short form content is literally eating away at our brains. And the best way I can put it is that books are the anti-short form content. They're like the longest form of content you can possibly get. So they reverse the damage that short form content is doing to us. So if short form content is ruining your brain, long form content is fixing your brain. And long form content in the form of books is the best type of content you could get. Because all in all we're trying to fix is your fucking focus. Like, the main thing is your focus. Meditating, your diet, and reading books consistently, all of that links into one bubble, which is focus. So you need to fix your focus, and the action steps to doing that is meditate daily for 20 minutes. Read every single day. Read 10 pages, read 20 pages, read every single day. And fix your fucking diet. Avoid seed oils. Don't eat bullshit, just eat whole foods, because your brain deserves that. And when I say reading, the way I like to read is I like to read around my problem. Because you might be reading one book and then you get kind of bored of it. And the problem is you're getting bored of it because you're reading it for the sake of fucking reading. You shouldn't be reading for the sake of reading, but you should be reading because you have something that you're trying to find in there, some piece of information that you're trying to find in there. So read around your problem, and that way you'd actually get consistent with it. Because reading should be fun, and don't be fucking loyal to one book. If you're reading one book and you found the fucking golden line that clicks something in your brain and you can implement it into your business, go and fucking implement that. And you don't have to feel the need to finish that book. You can just read something else, and when you have a problem that links back to that book, you go back to that book and you carry on reading that book, if that makes sense. That's how I read, and that's how I never get bored of reading, because so many people, they never get consistent with reading. I hope this video has helped you. Make sure you take the action steps, otherwise you're going to end up in 3 years you're going to end up fucking broke. Fix your focus by meditating, fixing your diet, and reading consistently. Do those 3 things like they're fucking religion. Do it like religion told you to do it, because I promise you that shit will fix your entire life. If you've been plateaued for a few years or few months, just do this and see what happens. Thank you for watching.